Testing 1, 2. Okay, apologies. I do believe we had lost connection and you missed the start of the game. Score at the moment 5 points to 1 in favour of Slaughtneil. 8 minutes gone, 5 points to 1. And it's Lynch's in attack. I'll run through how it started in a moment. But I suppose the big news is that Shea Cassidy is on the freeze for Slaughtneil. But here come Lynch's at the moment. Ball inside and it's deflected in here. An opportunity probably here for Corey O'Reilly. Quick turn, snapshot, and that's a good score. Good score from Corey O'Reilly for the point. And Mal, you've been taking notes there. If I've been trying to get through it. So Shea Cassidy with the opening 2 points. And then there was a free for the Lynches to open their account. And then it was Richie Mullen with a free. Cormac O'Doherty, Rory O'Maynine, Shea Cassidy free again. And then that Corey O'Reilly point and a further score there for Slaughtneil. And that one comes in from Ewan Boylan. So 6 points to 2. And Mal, Slaughtneil on top.
Yeah, they are on top. And just before we realised we had no sound, you were talking about their short game. They're really good at using the ball, short variation with it. And here's Thomas Brady on the ball here. And here's a chance, but he's closed down immediately by Finn McEldowney. He still goes for the shot, but that goes short to Oisin O'Doherty. And that, well, they're saying it went wide. Oisin and Slaughtneil have changed their gear to McKeever's this year, but Oisin O'Doherty's Adidas faded grey jumper is still in operation, and the ball is at the other end of the pitch. Shea Cassidy on a one-on-one situation. He shoots, and it looks like that's over the bar, so that's 7 points to 2. Shea Cassidy's his first from play, and Slaughtneil have settled really well into this game. The Lynches had that chance, as I said. Thomas Brady just had some space. All of a sudden, there was a couple of maroon jerseys, and we have Slaughtneil score, so 6 points to 2. The champions in a good position so far.
They are indeed 7-2 to Slaughtneil, and the ball is going to be a free here for Slaughtneil. So apologies again for the interruption in the opening 5 minutes of this one, but going the way as expected. Slaughtneil in control at the moment. Just one change to the Slaughtneil side from the starting team. A starting place for Rory McCartney ahead of Conor Coyle, who is listed at number 6. If you see the teams, I will run through them at half time when I get the opportunity, but just if you're on the socials and see the teams, one change, 24 for 6 on the Slaughtneil side. So here's a chance now for Cormac O'Doherty. We've had Shea Cassidy on the freeze. Now it's a chance for Cormac just inside his own 65 metre line, about a foot in from the sideline here, and he strikes that one beautifully. That is absolutely unbelievable striking from Cormac O'Doherty. And that is at its very best, on his own, just a foot inside his own 65 metre line, a foot inside the sideline here on the stand side. That is one of absolute beauty, Mal.
Yeah, just typical Cormac, just good solid touch. And I was up here one night interviewing before dairy training one night, and just had an assortment of balls across that lower end of Owen Bay. So hit so many of them in this time. Richie had got one for the Lynches at the other end, but it's just Slaughtneil's use of the ball so far on that has put them in a good situation. They have a sideline ball, Conor McAllister's on it, a poor one, but it looks like Richie Mullen is in possession. He doesn't have a shot on, but it's free in. Kieran McCain is awarded a free just on the 65 metre line. And as you touched on, Alan, the breeze is significant blowing into his face here, so a tricky enough one. And as we saw yesterday from the one that dropped short from Eamon Conway, it ended up in the net, so possibly the Lynches will be looking for something like this.
Yeah, stiff breeze blowing into the road end goals as the Lynches facing into the scoreboard end, and Richie just inside the 65 metre line. This reduced the deficit 8 points to 2 to Slaughtneil at the moment as Richie sends this one in. He's not too sure. The umpire goes, and the umpire goes for the flag. So Richie with the free, his second of the day, 8 points to 3. We're in the 12th minute of this opening half. Richie's second free of the day, so 8 to 3. And it's a ball over in the far sideline ball going to be taken by Cormac O'Doherty, just between his own 65 and 45 metre line on the terrace side. So Cormac gets a good connection with it. Beautiful ball in. Finn McEldowney is coming through the centre. Out comes Shea Cassidy. Cassidy on the 45. Finn McEldowney continued his run, just a little bit too much on it. And well read in there by John Mullen to clear his lines. Up to Niall Ferris. Ferris lets it long into space. Chance here for Corey O'Reilly to run onto. Corey O'Reilly controls up the stick onto the hand and pops it over the bar. Good score from Kevin Lynch's. 2 in a row for the Lynches. And it could have been Had the pass been right into Finn McEldowney, there was a goal chance on Shea Cassidy, just a wee bit too on it. But in fairness, John Mullen read it well and it ends with a score at the other end.
Very unfamiliar seeing John Mullen playing that full back line, but he was commanding. He is now on Rodgers. Brenton Rodgers is 2-2 with him. He's been forced back out over the shoulder. The umpire says it's good. It's 9 points to 4 here, Loanbag. But John Mullen very much playing in that full back line. And again, an attack that broke down. And Slaughtneil have been pretty ruthless in terms of how quickly they're turning the ball over. But as you said, that could have been a goal chance down there. That short game that I spoke about just didn't work on that occasion. But credit to John Mullen for cutting it out.
It was a good puck out, but it wasn't taken there by Niall Ferris, but it has been taken now, and here's an opportunity coming forward here for Ewan Boylan. Boylan in front there of Chrissy McKay. Quick offload there. There's not out. It's Brendan Rodgers, and Ewan Boylan was unceremoniously taken out of it, and Boylan might have been thinking of a goal there. Little dinky pass in front of Brendan Rodgers. Quick offload from Brendan back to Ewan, but Ewan was taken out of it. So Shea Cassidy, 4 points to his name already. 3 from frees, 1 from play. Has this opportunity now just outside the small D, with an opportunity a little bit to the right hand side of Sean Kelly's post as Sean Kelly looks out. So here is Shea Cassidy for point number 5, and it is, and it's double figures for Slaughtneil inside the opening 14 minutes, and I can see a goal coming already for Slaughtneil, the way they're moving in that full forward line. And you look at that full forward line, like Brendan Rodgers, Chrissy McKay, Shea Cassidy, they're nearly impossible to mark.
Yeah, and Chrissy missed last season. He's such a natural hurler anyway, great striker of the ball, so it gives him another focal point inside, and possibly something they didn't have last year when they went to that All-Ireland semi-final. So it's given Kevin Lynch a lot to think about there, and it is Owen McElhenney who's up against Shea Cassidy, but Micheál McGrath's through.
Yeah, Micheál McGrath, and he is taken out of it as well, and so definitely Lynch is in no mood to give away any goals, because Micheál McGrath, beautiful flick up on the far side from Shea Cassidy into the path of Micheál McGrath, and as he bore down a goal, he was hauled down inside the 13-metre line, and he still had plenty of work to do, but he wasn't going to be let go any closer to the goal. So it's going to be a free in here now, and a chance for Shea Cassidy for his 6th point of the day on the 21-metre line, about halfway between the small D and the large arc is the exact position of where he is going to place this ball. Well, he's actually not going to place it on the 21, he's going to place it about 2 foot outside the 21-metre line. So Shea Cassidy into the road end goals to open up a 7-point advantage for Slaughtneil as we just tick into the second quarter of this Leading Timber Frames Hurling Championship, and Shea Cassidy fires that one over the bar, and Shea Cassidy with the free, 11 points to 4. Mal, we were talking about it earlier, but we weren't on air. I'm surprised with the free taker, Shea Cassidy. Obviously, there's a reason behind it. Maybe if Cormac wasn't available, they're giving Shea the opportunity here to practice it in a big game. So it's an interesting one.
It is surely, and as I say, he's a skillful man in his own right, and a pretty good season for Derry. He was one of the reasons why they made that turnaround in the middle of the league. Him playing up front along with Cathal Murray with a bit of pace. So if you look at Slaughtneil's attack, they've got a bit of variation there now, obviously with Chrissy up there, but it's the start that Kevin Lynch has needed here. Alan, like with 15 minutes gone, it's 11-4. Richie's got a chance here, and based on the last one that he slotted, you'd imagine he would nail this one here. But I suppose it's the strength of depth. Like Conor Coyle was somebody who Paul McCormick found last year from sort of obscurity. He's injured, and in comes Shane McGuigan. Rory McCartney comes in to slot in. So it's that sort of competition they've had there, where they've always got an option. And Richie has delivered. It's 11 points to 5. But again, Oisin Doherty's always looking for the option on the puck out. It's going straight down the middle. You'd imagine this one straight towards Shane McGuigan, and he lets fly in towards him. We have a one-on-one battle with Shea Cassidy.
Yeah, but it's won by the Lynch's defence. He's coming out here to Niall Ferris, but Ferris intercepted pass, and it comes to Shea Cassidy. Cassidy gets it into the hand at the 3rd or 4th attempt, flicks it over his head, but it's going to be well read here by John Mullen. Mullen out here now to Corey O'Reilly, close to the stand side, bounces it off the ground into the hands of Niall Ferris. Inside it goes. Good play here from Lynch, working the way out of defence. Ferris lays it off now to Corey O'Reilly. Riley drops into the Slaughtneil half of the field, inside the 65-metre line, skips past the challenge to Micheál McGrath, spreads it over to the far side. An opportunity away over there now for the wing half back coming is Shea Miller. Miller goes to ground. down, no, drops it in. A chance for Mark Craig, but back comes the Slaughtneil players to intercept that one, and Slaughtneil have it back in the hands now of Micheál McGrath. Spreads it over here to Ewan Boylan. Boylan took his eye off the ball though. Chance here to break forward for Richie Mullen. Tries to get away, gets the effort away. Richie Mullen, but has it gone to the far side of the post and wide? It has. And when you see mistakes, they'll not come around too often, mistakes from Slaughtneil, you kind of have to punish them when they're offered like that.
Yeah, and Richie Mullins, that man, he was in like a hawk that time just on the shot, and he'd be disappointed in the finish. Corey Riley looking very lively here for Lynch so far. Probably Shane Miller maybe could have got a free that time. There's a late challenge over in that wing, but Kieran's letting a lot go in terms of play out that wing. But it's a free out here. Sean Kelly on the ball. Exceptionally good goalkeeper. You can imagine this one lands on, well, the breeze is in his face, but you imagine this lands in the danger zone.
Yep, long one dropping in on the 45-metre line. Ball broken down. Who's quickest to react? It's a stick of Slaughtneil, and it's picked up here now by Sean Cassidy. Cassidy offloads it here, and it drove forward now from Rory O'Meanine. O'Meanine's dropping there. The ball broken down from Chrissy McCaig, but quickest to react to that one was Dara McGilligan. McGilligan manages to get it away, but it's only going to be picked up now. The loose one here by Mark McGuigan. McGuigan plays it inside to Cormac O'Doherty, but he's on his own 65-metre line. Under pressure over there from Conor Gale. Fouled by Conor Gale. And it's a free to Slaughtneil, and the referee signalling that it was due to a knock on the head, on the top of the helmet. So it is a free, and Shea Cassidy is the free taker this afternoon for Slaughtneil, and he is going to take this one midway between the 40 or the 65-metre line and the halfway line in his own half of the field. The wind favouring the Emmets in this opening half. They lead by 11 points to 5. We're coming up on 20 minutes gone in the opening half of this Needham Timber Frames round 2. Group A, there's a double header here this afternoon. Coming up at 2:30 is Lavi and Namaya. So here comes Cassidy with this free. Takes it. When he strikes it, he's on the halfway line, but he sent it to the wrong side and out and wide of the target. It goes, so it's a wide for Slaughtneil. A third, I make it. And Mal agrees, so Sean Kelly has no sliotar, which is surprising. But he has two, but he leaves one of them there. Obviously, maybe trying to waste a little bit of time against that breeze, man.
Oh, that's what you have to do. Like two slitters away out as far away as he could, but one's now in his hand, Alan, and it's launched into the middle of the field. Breeze definitely a factor. I'm not sure who won the toss, but it's a free for Slaughtneil there. Sean Cassidy has lost his helmet in the middle of all of that, so Kieran O'Keefe gesturing like a foul over the top is the way I read it, and Cormac O'Doherty back. Alan, he must be taking the ones closer to midfield, but as you say, it's probably a good idea to have a range of free takers, because like last year Cormac was off the field at the time, and Jack had missed. Ironically, Jack I think makes his debut in his new NFL career somewhere today. I saw on Twitter, so he'll be listening in. All the best with Jack with that. But it's Cormac here in Owenbeg, and he's starting over this free.
He is just inside his own 65 as he strikes it. He's outside the 65, strikes it in, and that's what Cormac O'Doherty does in his sleep. Tucks it between the posts and over the bar it goes. 12 points to 5, Slaughtneil lead here with 9 minutes of this opening half remaining. Cormac's third of the day, 2 from frees, 1 from play, as Sean Kelly with this puck out now. Coming to the stand side, just dropping there on the 65-metre line. The loose ball picked up there, and there's a super ball inside. There might be a chance here to try and break free here. Niall Ferris is going for it, but he's pulled that one away to the wrong side, and out and wide it goes, and chances that really the Lynches cannot afford to be letting slip away are beginning to slip away, as Oisin O'Doherty looks for options, going out to the far side because he spotted a man that peeled away from us. A beautiful catch over there from Rory O'Meanine, and O'Meanine's ball inside here, and also a super catch inside from Cassidy. Lays it off to Brendan Rodgers. That is from Slaughtneil. The touch, the hand pass, and everything about it was perfect.
Great score with a great any pitch. It started with Oisin's spot, but it was a run of Rory O'Meanine and his first touch in the air, and then it was slick up front, and Brendan Rodgers maybe could have took it on for a goal chance, but he took the score, and again it's Slaughtneil playing a diagonal ball towards Rodgers, but this time it looks like Oran McKeever's the favourite. He wins a free out for a push in the back. 13 points to 5. Kevin Lynch's are, as I say, they are against this breeze, which is significant, but what have we got with 8 minutes to half time, they'll be looking to have huge scores to try and see does it give them something to build on in that sort of crucial spell after half time. But at the minute, it's all Slaughtneil, and the ball's in the hands of John Mullen from a short puck out from Sean Kelly.
Yeah, John Mullen has it. There's it back out the back door there towards Conor Kelly. Kelly lets it long. Come on as a substitute here last week as Rory O'Maynine is under that one. Gathers possession. Under pressure, but shrugs off the challenge and looks ahead of himself and sends it into space because Cormac O'Doherty ran it. Puts up the hand and gathers possession. Plays it inside then to Micheál McGrath. Micheál McGrath onto the stick. Skips past the challenge. Back on the stick. Tried to hit it on the run. Goes to ground though. Drops the slitter on the ground. He's crowded out here, but there to help him out. And the referee spotted Micheál. Foul in his man off the ball as racing in to pick up the loose ball was Cathal McCaig. So it's going to be a free out to the Lynches, and as Mal mentioned, Lynches would need something here just before the break. 13 points to 5 the trail as they try to pick out Richie Mullen. Ball batted down though by Finn McEldowney to Cormac O'Doherty, who spots a man away over on the far side unmarked and racing up here. There's a chance to drive this one in here from Mark McGuigan. McGuigan takes one look at the post, drives it in, but drives it to the wrong side of the post, out and wide. 13 points to 5 it remains. We have just over 6 minutes of this opening half remaining. Stiff breeze at the backs of Slaughtneil as the referee tells a few slitters to be through in there to the goals, and Kevin Lynch's are in no mood to fire too many of them in. There was a young boy going to pick a few out of the bucket to throw out, but he was told to maybe just leave them there. We're into a stiff breeze. We don't want as many slitters down at the goal road end as we can. So the ball is in. Oh, well taken by John Mullen. Super catch from Mullen. Plays it back there to Kelly as goalkeeper to clears lines. Over towards the terrace side. There's 2 Slaughtneil men against 1. The ball is deflected. It come off the Slaughtneil hand, which was the hand of Conor McAllister. So it's a sideline cut to the Lynches. 13 points to 5. Slaughtneil lead in this Group A Round 2 encounter. Both these teams winning on the opening day. Slaughtneil hitting 34 points in their victory up in Namaya in round 1. And the Lynches winning that crucial game against Lavi in Lavi, which was the opening game of the 2025 Leading Timber Frames Hurling Championship. Good sideline cut inside, but the only man that's in there is Cathal McCaig, and he lays it off now. I think it's Rory O'Maynine. Quick layoff. Oh no, it's Cathal McCaig now. Apologies, and McCaig lets it in, but a little look of disgust from Shane McGuigan, who was the man that caught the ball originally. They're both wearing green helmets, and Shane is not happy with Cathal because Shane was sprinting past him. It should have been an offload.
It's the green helmet and the tan legs. We're getting mixed up there, Alan, but I was just looking down at Kevin Lynch. You mentioned John Mullen commanding in the defence. I'm looking down at the bench here. Paddy Kelly wearing 17, doesn't appear to have any strapping. You'd imagine they'll want him back sooner rather than later. Get John pushed up front. Maybe not today, but just in the big picture and the rest of this championship, because he's just a scoring option, and Paddy Kelly's like a top drawer defender. So there's obviously a switch there because of injury.
Yep. In possession now is Shea Cassidy. Cassidy half blocked down, gets it inside though to Chrissy McCaig outside the 45 metre line, gets a shout behind him from Rory O'Maynine, standing on the 65 metre line. He sends it in and sends it between the posts for his second point of the day from Rory O'Maynine, and O'Maynine with the point. 14 points to 5, and Rory O'Maynine to me is one of the most gifted young hurlers coming through.
He's so natural, and when he's playing at wing half forward for Derry, I notice he's a great man firing in that diagonal ball, and Cormac O'Doherty would have done as well, and so too Richie Mullen. But you just would love to see an attack with John and Richie Mullen in it, because it would just make such a difference right now, because I think that's Finn McEldowney coming out with another interception. Sorry, it's actually Conor McAllister. So the Slaughtneil defence doing really well. Brilliant take from Shea Cassidy.
Super take, but he tried to get it in, but it was well blocked down there by Dara McGilligan. McGilligan wins it back for the Lynches. Out now to Niall first, just inside the 65, takes one look at the post, sends it in, but it drops short, and the wind caught that one. And Cormac O'Doherty, or Oisin O'Doherty, apologies, gathers possession and drives it long, looking for Chrissy McCaig, controls it in the stick, races after to try and keep it in play. Very close to the far sideline, goes to ground and fouled on the far side. I think it was by John Mullen, way out on the far wing, right out close to the sideline. But we saw the effects of the breeze with that one from Ferris.
Yeah, Ferris really good forward as well. When he back a few years ago, like a danger man. I remember him playing up front one day against Slaughtneil down in Lavi, and he was exceptional. But like, that the ball just held up in the breeze there, and it just gives you an indication for anybody listening in that you need to be a wee bit closer in. And Shea Cassidy has it now. It's a free right out on the sideline. Christian McCaig winning that free. Played a lot of his hurling midfield during the defence. His dad John was a real bear in the square back in the day, so Chrissy's moved back to the roots in with the number 14 jersey. So Shea Cassidy with his free on, and the way things have gone so far, you'd imagine him to slot it.
Yep, just between the 45 and the 21, closer to the 45 as he sends us in. And the umpire goes for the flag. And Shea Cassidy with another one to his name. And I make that point number 7 for Shea Cassidy. 6 frees, 1 from play. There's thumbs up from Mal to agree. And the referee is going to have just telling Sean Kelly to go again. I think he pucked it out a little bit too fast for the liking of Kieran O'Kane, our match official. So we're inside the final 2 minutes of this opening half. A half controlled by Slaughtneil. Their touch, everything about them, they're clinical, but just that first touch, the catching, something we didn't see yesterday between Screen and Swatter, where there was a lot of errors from both teams, and really the touch wasn't there. But it's a different level here with Slaughtneil at the moment. And away goes Cormac O'Doherty, bends down, gathers possession again, just a little step away from trouble, and then plays the ball inside, looking for Micheál McGrath, gathers possession, back it again as they try to create a space. Now they've got plenty of space here, and he's going to let fly here. I think it is the man, it's just Shane McGuigan, and it's gone between the posts, and Shane gets his name on the score sheet with the red boots and, as Mal said, the tanned legs and the green helmet. And Shane, it's interesting there, they weren't going to shoot when they were under pressure, and they just waited and they got it back to a man in a lot of space, and that was Shane McGuigan.
Yeah, and like yesterday in Ballinascreen, you touched on it. A lot of the shots were taken into contact, but in saying that, Rua Mainan took a brilliant shot there, well under pressure, but he was just able to. He nearly had a strike, was really high, nearly over the defender. Whereas yesterday, a lot of them are closed down, but as you say, that there was a recycling of it, and I think that's why Shane was frustrated with that Cahill's missed chance, because they're good at creating the overlaps. Like that Brenton Rodgers score has been the score of the game so far. You know, they made it look really easy, and in hurling, it's far from easy down there in the middle of a championship game. So it seems to be the sport play. But here we have Richie Mullen just inside the 65, just right in front of us in the stand. But the stoppage time, but we're on the blow. We're on the blow of normal time here at the moment. So it's one that Richie will need to nail.
Well, there's no fourth official, so we won't know what injury time we're going to have as Richie sends this one in. Nope, it's announced now that will be at least 2 minutes of additional time. Richie Mullen sends over a 6 point for Kevin Lynch. So 16-6, 10 points between the sides with half-time approaching here. We're inside those 2 additional minutes. Quick puck out now to McAllister. McAllister up into the corner, gathered into the hand again. There's no messing with Slaughtneil. Brendan Rodgers cuts the call through the centre. That's from Finn McInerney. They're looking for a goal here before half-time, possibly. No, it's turned and it's over the bar from Cahill McCaig. Point for McCaig. But again, they just look like they're possibly trying to create a good chance, Mal.
They've nearly got slicker as the half has went on. A couple of those moves, like there was another excellent move but Kevin Lynch was able to close down Micheál McGrath's run at the end of it all. So, but again, Kevin Lynch just struggling to get the ball out of and struggling to make it stick when they get Shea Miller under so much pressure. Cormac O'Doherty and now Mark McGuigan, but he did well at the second time of asking. He's got it in there.
Yep, it's dropped in here, and the man goes to the ground. It's going to be a free end to Lynch's, and for a moment it looked like they could have turned there. Rory O'Maynine pulls down his man, but Rory gets up without a hurl, so he's not happy with it, and Richie Mullen trying to take this one quickly, but the referee wants to have a word here with Rory O'Maynine, just explaining as Rory wasn't happy with and it's a yellow card for Rory, maybe talked himself into that yellow card. So I'm just waiting to see who it was that was in there. That's got up now on his feet and makes his way out, and it is the number 10, which was Thomas Brady. So half a chance of a goal, but Richie here, will he be happy with the point? 17-6 down. We're into the last seconds of the opening half. Will he go for a goal? He's going to go for a goal. It just goes over the bar. Just riz and over the bar, and that's the half-time whistle. Half-time, 17 points to 7 in favour of Slaughtneil. Almost a goal chance. Rory O'Maynine, a judge to have hauled down the number 10 Thomas Brady, but Richie was going for goal there.
he was, and Rory probably knew what he was doing there, and took the card. You would have to ask Richie Allen, was he going for a goal? He seemed to be aiming crossbar height, so it whizzed over. And I heard a few calls from the stand, go for it. So how many goal chances do you get in the game? Albeit there was 4 men back in the line. So 17 points to 7. The Lynch's players going in. Body language not great. They were disappointed with the first half performance, but they're going to have to make use of the breeze in the first 5 minutes of the second half. The Slaughtneil players been held back just there, heading to the tunnel now. So probably the half Slaughtneil would have wanted, just to get them, they're aiming the top of the group. So a second victory is well in their sights this morning. And Kevin, it's very simplistic, but they're going to have to target the first 10 minutes of the second half, Alan, just to try and see, can they get a couple of scores in a row, take that margin from 10 down to maybe 7 or 6 and see what happens. But it's hard to look past the Slaughtneil victory. They come in today as hot favourites, and they remain so far in that category. Like as you touched on, it was just the way they began to tick as the half went on. And probably that just comes with games. Like Patrick Duggan did say that, like all the clubs in there, there's very little hurling done during the holiday period, and they were relying on in-house games to pick their team. And both teams had, a lot of county players during the season. So during the league was probably just getting boys hurling, So now you're looking down at Slaughtneil's bench. It's fairly strong. You big Jerome Wigan there with number 30 on his back, just going down in front of us. He had an injury earlier in the year, so they have a few options, but they're in a really good position now to push on.
Thank you very much, Mal. More from Mal in the second half. Half time, Slaughtneil 17, Kevin Lynch, Hurling Club 7 points. And we were reflecting on yesterday when, unfortunately, we were off air. We felt we were on air. So just a reminder of how Group B round 2 went yesterday. Victory for Banagher in the early game against Owen Roe. 3 goals and 24 points to 3 goals and 9 points. That got Banagher's first victory of the campaign. Well, the big game, I suppose, in Group B yesterday was in Ballinascreen yesterday evening in a game that didn't ignite until about the 58th, 57th, 58th minute, and then it just absolutely took off. And in the end, it was a victory for the home side. 3 goals and 13 points to Swatra's 1 goal and 17 points. Big win for Ballinascreen. They've made it 2 wins from 2. But still not guaranteed a semi-final spot. Their last game will be a trip to Banagher, while Swatra will welcome Owen Roe to McAdavid Park in their last game. So how it stands in Group B going into the last fixtures in the group stages, it is Ballinascreen played 2, won 2, 4 points. Swatra and Banagher played 2, 1-1 each, sitting on 2 points, and Owen Roe sitting at the foot of the table on 0 points. Reminder, the last round of fixtures, it's Banagher against Ballinascreen, or Banagher against Ballinascreen, and Swatra against Owen Roe. So if we saw victory for Banagher and victory for Swatra, it would mean all 3 teams would be on 4 points, and it would mean that we would be looking at our calculators to decide. But if there was victory for Ballinascreen and victory for Owen Roe, we would also be going to the calculators, as Banagher, Swatra and Owen Roe would all be on 2 points. So still plenty to play for in Group B. Reminder, this is only part of the header here in Owenbeg this afternoon. Coming up at 2:30, we will have the meeting of Lavi and Namaya, the 2 teams that were defeated in the opening rounds here in Owenbeg. Or not in Owenbeg, but in the opening rounds of Group A. So that is how the hurling goes. Football resumes next weekend, of course. We'll have a game here on Friday night. That will be the first of the 2A games, and that will be the meeting of Steelstown and Luke. And then there'll be 3, and there's also a game in 2B up in Celtic Park, Faughonvale against Drumcerne. And then on Saturday, triple header here in Owenbeg, and on Sunday another triple header in Owenbeg. And that is all in the O'Neill's Senior Football Championship. And then of course we have a full round of fixtures in the McFeely Group Intermediate Football Championship in the group stages, and also in the Premier Electrics Junior Football Championship. And there was a game earlier on this afternoon. Moneymore, I do believe, overcame Ardmore. So Moneymore have drew their first game, won their second game. So that was in the Premier Electrics Junior Football Championship earlier this afternoon. And of course on Friday night in the Camogie Senior Championship, also throwing in there there was victories for Slaughtneil, Ballinascreen and Glen, while Lavey and Swatra played out a draw. So that is how it is. And reminder, Michael and myself will be reviewing it all on Monday night's Derry Gales podcast. So if you've missed anything, do make sure to join us and give us a follow there on social. Every Monday night, we will have our podcast, The Derry Gales, out for you to tune in. Also, coming up next week, we will have, I do believe, their streaming will be starting of our live coverage of the campaign. So we will have games next weekend coming to you live on Derry GA TV. But for the moment, we're bringing you all these games here on Derry GA Radio. So make sure to follow Derry GA for all that is upcoming. And reminder, for £50, the season pass is available. That will give you coverage of all the games that have been recorded so far in round one of the hurling and round two of the hurling that has taken place, of also the round one of the football that was recorded, are all available there for you to look back on. And it will also give you access to our live stream games that will be beginning next weekend. So for £50, that season pass is available. As I said, you can go on to the Derry socials there and they will give you the links as to how you can purchase that season pass. So, from myself, Alan Gunn, and Michael McMullen, we'll be back very shortly. Half time here in the opening game of this Leading Timber Frames Group A doubleheader from Moonbeg. Slaughtneil 17 points, Kevin Lynch 7 points. We'll be back in a few minutes again with full second half commentary. Welcome back as Kevin Lynch Hurling Club re-emerge from the dressing room down below us. So they are out for the second half. And you mentioned before half-time, Mal, the opening 10 minutes, if they are to make a game of it, they're going to have to make inroads straight away into that deficit.
Yeah, it's as simple as that. They just need to, get a few scores. Like yesterday, Swatter come out and got a couple of early scores, and you thought they were going to push on. So the Lynches, we don't see any personnel changes. Slaughtneil had yet to take the field, but I noticed all the subs are right at half time, so it's not that anybody was called in. But you couldn't imagine them changing too much. Although we see Paddy Kelly doing a wee bit of limbering up, he's standing down beside Davy Harry here at the moment, so he actually does look like a man that's coming on, if not now, fairly shortly. So that definitely would change things, maybe in their structure. Let's see where John Mullen went to. So John Mullen's still in a defensive position, so it looks as if Paddy Kelly is going to come in at some point. And he had his own injury problems this year with the county, so he's definitely a loss. But looking down, Slaughtneil just taking the field here. They're just going to have to see, can they get a bit of ball into Mark Craig inside. Him, McGonigal and Ritchie to try and see can they get a couple of early attacks. Likewise, I'm sure the Slaughtneil will have half-time team talk with him. They're all based around settling down as well. So Rory McCartney seems to be going into full back. Sean Cassidy at right half back out on Stevie O'Neill. It seems Shane McGuigan, though he wears sevens at centre back, and no change as yet. But the referee's just about to throw in the ball.
Yeah, he is indeed. Paddy Kelly definitely preparing to come on here for Kevin Lynch, possibly in the next 5 minutes of this half. You would feel he'll be introduced. He is down to the jersey, just limbering up, talking to the management down below us as we're about to get underway. The second half, no changes to either side for the second half. As Kieran O'Kane, our match official, prepares to get the second half underway. As they say that, he has done exactly that. The first man into possession is Cathal McCaig of Slaughtneil, but he's dispossessed, pulled on the ground there by a Kevin Lynch's man. Racing after is the number 12 there, Stevie O'Neill. O'Neill close to the far sideline, tracked over there and dispossessed on the far side, and it's going to be a free out. Is it? The referee watches carefully. He blew the whistle. Yep, it is a free out. The man that was over there was Sean Cassidy. Cassidy wins the free. And it's drove way up the field now by Rory O'Mahony into plenty of space, and racing after it is Brendan Rodgers. Controls it on the stick and has already got plenty of space, but the reason he has got space is because the referee's whistle is sounding that it hasn't been taken from the correct place. It's been actually moved forward, so you think it would have been a bigger advantage because there was a goal chance on for Slaughtneil there. We get a word from Mal at the moment to be pulled back to where the free is now being taken, so this is interesting. But it is a chance for Cormac O'Doherty, who is on the freeze here against the stiff breeze now in the second half, just inside his own half. But you would feel when he strikes it, he will be in the Kevin Lynch's half. 17 points to 7, early stages of the second half. Slaughtneil come forward with Cormac O'Doherty, drives it in and drives it between the posts and over the bar from Cormac O'Doherty. Interesting one there because Slaughtneil were in for a goal.
They were in for a goal, and Brendan Rodgers' first touch was excellent. The only thing is I didn't see the referee had his hand up, and maybe he did, and the Lynch's defenders had stopped. A brilliant takeaway, Finn McEldowney, Sean Kelly's puck out going the full length of Owen Begg there. So that's something that Slaughtneil's going to have to deal with because it's such a weapon, and maybe that'll be their avenue back into this game. But the Cormac O'Doherty, he just made a mockery of that breeze, Alan. He just drilled it over the bar, so maybe he's a free taker against the breeze. We'll have to see. There's a ruck on the far side of the field, and nobody has come out with it just yet. It's a Kevin Lynch's body now.
It is, and he gets a push on the back, so it's going to be a free to Kevin Lynch's, just between their own 65 and the halfway line. So an opportunity here, way over on the far side, as they look into the road end goals, and chance to put a little dent in the scoreline, which reads Slaughtneil 18 points, Kevin Lynch's 7 points. Coming up on 3 minutes gone here in the second half as Richie Mullen sends this one in. Has he got the accuracy? No, he hasn't. It goes to the wrong side and out and wide from Richie Mullen. So another wide for Lynch's, remains 18 points to 7. as Oisin O'Doherty sends this one into space, bounces once into the hands of Ewan Boylan, then he drives it into the corner looking for the run of Brendan Rodgers, takes it on the hand and tries to turn his man, cutting in along the end line, shrugs off the challenge, lets it in and it whistles over the top of the crossbar. A wonderful score from Brendan Rodgers. Super play from Oisin O'Doherty, one bounce into the hand of Ewan Boylan, into the corner and takes it on the turn was Brendan Rodgers. Absolute one of beauty.
Ewan Boylan didn't even look. He just lashed on it straight in, 1v1. And the pace of Brendan Rodgers, we've seen it so many times. But Richie had missed that free. Slaughtneil have tagged on 2 scores. Just exactly the start they would have wanted. With Rue in possession here so far. I think Dara Mullen's been called from the Lynch's bench to warm up as well. So we're going to see changes.
Yep. And well taken by John Mullen, plays it back there towards his keeper Sean Kelly, out to Oran McElhinney. McElhinney looks ahead of himself and drives it away up the field into space, and there's 2 men against 1 there, but it breaks kindly for Mark Craig. Craig out the back door just outside the 40-metre arc, right in front of the post. An opportunity here, and Richie Mullen sends it between the post and over the bar, and Mark Craig did well to win that one because he was outnumbered 2-1 there, but he done well. Rory O'Meara already has the puck out taken from Oisin O'Doherty, and he drives it forward, but it's well read there. There's going to be a change here for Kevin Lynch's, but play continues even though Kevin Lynch's are making the change, and Paddy Kelly will have to come off again. But here comes Lynch's looking for support, but his ball is giving away, and it's Slaughtneil to come out of it. And racing after this one now is Mark McGuigan. McGuigan, though, is dispossessed over on the far side by Corey O'Reilly. O'Reilly inside his own half, drives it in, looking for a score. O'Reilly's effort goes in, and that's a super point inside his own half from Corey O'Reilly. And that brings Kevin Lynch's score up to 9 points, and in comes Paddy Kelly.
Yeah, the announcement was made, but he hadn't come on yet. Dara Mullen with the tracksuit top off as well, putting the helmet on, and I can see Eamon Cassidy has been sort of called by the Slaughtneil management to warm up. So, Mark Craig has been replaced. So Paddy Kelly in the full forward. So it's not where we expected him to be. It's still John Mullen back at full back for the Lynches. So with a bit of a stoppage here, but like 10 points back to that margin again. So it's going to be tricky to eat into it because no matter how well they play, it's hard to see Slaughtneil not tagging on scores. So it's just a real this real steep climb for the Lynches.
Yep. The Lynches have it down below us, but the ball is into the centre. But the only man that's waiting there is Rory O'Meara, and O'Meara drives it long, looking there now for Shea Cassidy. Cassidy out in front, takes it into the hand just outside the 45-metre line. Back it comes now to Finn McEldowney on the 65. Lovely little dinky pass along the ground into Shane McGuigan. McGuigan looks at the post, drives it in, and the umpire is going for the flag. A second point of the day for Shane McGuigan. And it brings up point number 20 for Slaughtneil, 20 points to 9. Paddy Kelly gone to full back or to full forward. Possibly, if you're not 100%, and John Mullen is 100% fit, it's better leaving John Mullen at full back instead of throwing Paddy Kelly in there against a forward line like that there at the moment if you're not up 100% game time.
Yeah, it's difficult, but at the same time, they're going to need to get scores. Like they won that last possession through Mark Craig, but he wasn't able to take his man on, and it was recycled. And his late tackle there, I'm not sure who's doing it. It might be Shane McGuigan. His late tackle, so the referee's heading down across to speak to somebody. Karen Keeled the physio on right away. It is Shane McGuigan. It seems to be like an arm injury. But the Kevin Lynch just need to get something out of that attack, and Dara Mullen is going to come on. So maybe they're going to make a positional change now. Alan, with John Mullen, we'll have to wait and see. But not sure who he spoke to there, Alan. Thomas Brady yellow card for that challenge, and Shane McGuigan. So we have 7 minutes gone this half, and like it's 11 points, like 20 points of some shooting, and they tagged on 34 against Namaha in round 1. So it's effortless and as how they use the ball. And Ewan Boylan, go back to that point, he just won the ball. It was a short puck out to Rory O'Meara, and then up into Brendan Rodgers, and like he's electric when he's one-on-one with anybody. So it was a great score, and they've just there's no other way of saying it. They've just got their grip firmly on this game on.
Yep, the ball forward there looking for Paddy Kelly, but Shane McGuigan, who's recovered from that knock, gathers possession, plays it into the centre to Oisin O'Doherty, and Oisin O'Doherty's in trouble here as they're coming in, and there's a chance here for the Lynches. Being dispossessed, the ball is sent in, but it's sent over the bar. It's sent over the bar from Niall McGonigal. who was the hero here last week for the footballers of Dungiven, has got his first point of the day, but almost Oisin O'Doherty done well. It wasn't the best of passes inside from Shane McGuigan, and I'm sure Shane, despite it being comfortable for Slaughtneil, may hear about that, because maybe on another day that would have gifted a goal opportunity and a goal for the Lynches, but Oisin O'Doherty done well. But away goes the Lynches down in front of us here now is Shane Miller. Miller holds possession. That is a super point from Shane Miller. Controlled it on the stick, on the sideline, and on the run, fired it over the bar just inside the 45-metre line. That's as good a score as you'll ever see.
Lovely piece of skill and the confidence to go for it as well, and just what they needed, after the score just before that. And like Oisin did well to sort of cut out the goal chance. You just wondered if Niall going for a goal. Like he was high in confidence here last week. You'd imagine that was what he was thinking about. So it is Thomas Brady has been replaced by Dara Mullen. Short puck out to Rua Main in the game, which is something Kevin Lynch is going to have to close down. Like Cormac had already lost touch there, and he just lashed on the ball. And here we have Brendan Rodgers in the attack.
Yep, Brendan Rodgers in possession. Gives it away back out though here to Shane McGuigan. McGuigan on just inside the 45, sends it in, but sends it to the wrong side of the post. And wide, it remains 20 points to Slaughtneil, 11 points to Kevin Lynch's. 20 minutes remain of this game as the ball is up there as Paddy Kelly races after this one, goes down under pressure. Ball picked up here though by Rory McCartney. McCartney up along the line, very close to the side. Oh, well kept in play by Oisin. Off by Cormac O'Doherty, and Cormac O'Doherty doesn't agree with the linesman. I'd have to say I agree with you, Cormac. I think it come off a Lynch's stick in Stevie O'Neill, but Lynch's need every call at the moment, so they have been given the sideline cut along the stand side, and Corey O'Reilly, who I believe has 3 points I think to his name already in the game, is going to take this sideline cut just outside the 45-metre line here into the road end goals on the stand side of Owen Begg, and he gets a beautiful cut. It's dropping in. Has it gone all the way? It has gone all the way over the bar. It goes from Corey O'Reilly from the sideline, and that is a zone of beauty as well.
He's just got ahead of Brendan Rodgers, and Shea Miller has scored the game so far. Sweet skill, 4th point. Eamon Cassidy coming on for Slaughtneil, but Kevin Lynch has got 3 scores on the row. It's what they needed at the start of the half. But I think that they're going to have to close down Rory Main as an outlet here, because Oisin's variation on the puck outs is giving them an awful platform. So Cathal McCaig has been replaced. In comes Eamon Cassidy. So, but again, I'm looking down, where is Rory Main, because he's been such an outlet on puck outs. Oisin has went to the other side this time. 50-50 ball. He comes out with it.
Yep, and we are back to an 8-point game here, and they're going to reduce that to 7, are they? The ball drops in, the umpire's looking, yes it is! It's a 7-point game, and I'm not just sure who this man that has got that one is. He's there in the middle of the field on his own 65-metre line. Oisin O'Doherty trying to get it quickly on. It's Corey O'Reilly again with that point, and suddenly it's a 7-point game, and credit, that is 4 in a row. 4 in a row, and Oisin O'Doherty, you mentioned he's trying to get the ball back into play quickly as possibly as he can, but I'll come to you in a minute, because here go Slaughtneil now, a chance in here, the ball in from Micheál McGrath, in front of Shea Cassidy, controls it on the stick, trying to find a little bit of space, looking for support, no support, so he's going himself, and it's dropping in, there's going to come here, and Brendan Rodgers goes down under the challenge. In the meantime, Sean Kelly comes out with possession, drives it away up the field, and there's 1 against 1 here. If whatever way the ball breaks, it breaks down, and there might be a chance here as the Lynch's man tries to turn. He does turn, but it's half blocked down, and Oisin O'Doherty gathers possession. The man that was trying to break away was Niall McGonigal, but that is super defending.
Brilliant defending from Conor McAllister. He literally put his body in the lane there. His position was brilliant, but as with Sean Kelly's ball, we have a real game on now. Like, there's 7 points in it. Kevin Lynch's have got 4 points in a row, each of them as good as the next one. And Sean Kelly, as I say, if he works his puck out short, if he can get him on the ball, like that ball just landed on Niall McGonigal in the goal hotspot. But credit Conor McAllister for the block. So that could be an avenue that they could use, but they have to stop Oisin O'Doherty's variation on the puck out, because it's hurting them.
Sideline cut this time from Corey O'Reilly. Doesn't go near the goals as Finn McEldowney gathers possession. Breaks away from the challenge. He's still holding it and controls the slitter on the stick. Looks ahead of himself. Wonderful tackle comes in from behind now, but it breaks down because Slaughtneil have bodies there. Cormac O'Doherty on his own 65-metre line. Drives it into the corner. Bounces once into the hands of Brendan Rodgers. Rodgers will be thinking of a goal here if he can get away, but he can't turn. Has to take the point. Drives it in, but it's gone across the front of the post and out and wide. And you can just see a little bit of belief in the Kevin Lynch's side now. Coming into it, 7 points is nothing unheard of.
It's not, and they just need to keep feeding off this. But Finn McEldowney's picked up an important break. He's used it to Rui McCartney, but there's a man gaining on him. But fair play to Rui, he found a man. That man is Ewan Boylan, I think. Sorry, not it's Eamon Cassidy, and that is going for Slaughtneil's 8th wide. I make it so. It's definitely a change in the game, but like the point is, there's 7 points in it, and Slaughtneil, you'd imagine, will keep it ticking over. So the Lynches are going to have to find the onion bag at some point, and maybe those long balls from Sean Kelly could be the avenue.
Yeah, but they're battling for everything. Is the Lynches. Ball over to the far side, but here goes Slaughtneil. They might be thinking of a goal here. No, they're electing to pop it over the bar. There was possibly a chance of moving forward for a goal, but the experience of Chrissy McKay decided we just need a point just to slow things down here. And I suppose that's all about experience.
Yeah, and just that knack. I've seen it so many times. He just shortens the grip. He wasn't going to be hooked, and they needed that score. But Sean Kelly's puck out slanting back. Oh, a great fetch from Shane McGuigan on the D. So the message has obviously got in that they're going to have to worry about the long ball. Sean Cassidy drove on the game into Brendan Rodgers. Brendan Rodgers can get a great supply of ball here on.
Yeah, and he gives a great ball in here now to Eamon Cassidy. Picks it up on the stick, but he's put under a lot of pressure there, and that's good play. As the ball is out and it's gone as a wide for Slaughtneil, but well tracked back there by Dara McGilligan as it looked for a second and Eamon Cassidy was in. Sean Kelly prepares to launch this one up towards the road end goals, and it's on its way, dropping on the 45-metre line on the other end of the field. Ball breaks down. Who's quickest to react to that one is Sean Cassidy of Slaughtneil. He's been pulled back. Referee plays the advantage because Slaughtneil have possession. In it goes into the centre. Chance here for Rory O'Malley now to clear the lines. He does so in here looking for Cassidy. Oh, well gathered though. The referee going back for the advantage, and surely advantage has to be over at that stage.
That's frustrating because what a brilliant take from Corey O'Reilly, and I know it's a different game, but last weekend I found it frustrating in the football. I know that's the way the rule is, but I just find that you punish the team twice, I feel, and like what a take for Corey O'Reilly, but it looks as if Niall Ferris is winning this race. No, he's not. It's actually going to be Ewan Boylan. It's back with Niall Ferris. But Kevin Lynch just need to get the ball out of that, and they need to get into the danger zone at the other end.
Yep. 8 points between the sides. 21 plays 13 as the ball is launched in here, but it's going to go right through to the goalkeeper. Takes a bounce, so Doherty gathers possession. He's blocked down here, but there's a chance here. Maybe Richie Mullins in there. He would look like he was pushed to the ground. Referee watches. It looks like it's going to be a penalty. It is a penalty. A penalty to Kevin Lynch's. It looked like Oisin O'Doherty had it all under control, but it was blocked down by Richie Mullen. And then Richie looked like he got pushed on the back. He was pushed a second time as he tried to get back on his feet. And the referee from the out on the 65-metre line said that is a penalty to the Lynches. So this is a glorious chance for Kevin Lynch's to reduce the deficit to a 5-point game. We have just entered the final quarter. Richie planted one superbly to the back of the net against Lavey in the opening round. Now he has a chance to give Kevin Lynch's a super opportunity coming down the home straight in this final quarter. So Richie Mullen against Oisin O'Doherty with this chance. The road end goals, penalty to the Lynches. Here he comes, strikes it over the bar. Got right underneath it. Richie Mullen with the penalty. It's only a point though, and the air of disappointment among the Kevin Lynch's supporter. That was a glorious chance to get right back into it.
Yeah, you could hear the groan whenever it went over, and he was obviously trying to go for power, and he got power, but he didn't get the right placement, and a let off for Slaughtneil, and the game needed the goal. More importantly, Kevin Lynch just needed the goal, and they actually have been hunting it down. Like Shane McGuigan got caught out on a short ball that Slaughtneil recovered from. And then obviously they get caught out with Richie winning that penalty. But the ball's at the other end of the pitch. It's in the hands of Shea Cassidy.
Cassidy slips on the ground though and he's crowded out there. Wonderful defending yet again from the Lynches, it must be said. They have really fought hard here in the second half. Paddy Kelly drives it forward, but it's straight down the throat there of Sean Cassidy, giving the forwards no chance at all. But wonderful interception from Niall McGonigal. McGonigal burying in on goals, but he needs to get support. He's cried out, goes to ground, free in on the 21 metre line. And it's Sean Cassidy who was hooked as he tried to clear the ball. And it was Shane McGuigan put in the tackle, but Sean Cassidy that was dispossessed as he tried to clear his own 45 metre line. McGonigal got in. McGonigal was burying in a goal and was pulled down there by Shane McGuigan. So a free in and a chance to reduce the deficit to a 6-point game. Richie Mullen with this free comes forward and Richie drives it over the bar for a point. Another one for the Lynches. And you have to give credit to the Lynches. They're making a battle of it.
They sure are. They're running really well, and they're actually they've closed down that short puck out, which is a big factor. Like Ossian doesn't have the same. Oh, he's got one to Mark McGuigan who made a great run, but it's going to be a 50-50 battle, Alan, and it's a white jersey in possession. I think it's actually they're in possession again. There's the Lynch.
Yep, they're coming forward and they've hit him alone. Sails between the posts from Shea Miller, and we're back to a 5-point game. 21 plays 16. Shea Miller with the score. It was 17-7 at half time. It's now 21-16. There is a strong wind. It's at the back of the Lynches, but credit to Kevin Lynches. They're beginning to win those 50-50 balls. Puck out again's a 50-50 one. Rory O'Maynine gets a strong touch to it though, but the referee spots a foul, and the foul is on Rory O'Maynine, so it's going to be a free way over on the far side to Slaughtneil. 21 points to 16. Just under 11 minutes remain of this leading Timber Frames Group A Round 2 encounter. Part of a doubleheader this afternoon. Coverage brought to you, of course, with thanks to Urban HQ. Redefining workspace. Sponsors of our radio coverage and of our streaming TV service will begin next weekend in the O'Neill Senior Football Championship Round 2. But here is Cormac O'Doherty, who will be involved in that football championship as well, a dual star. And Cormac just inside the Kevin Lynch's half of the field over on the terrace side, looking at the posts, has seen it. 10-point half-time advantage, half 2, just 5. This one drops short here, and it's scrambled for possession. Kevin Lynch is finally getting up into the stick and clear their lines out here, but it's a short one, and it's intercepted by Chrissy McCaig. Bends his back and gets it onto the stick. He's been pushed out into the corner though, gets it back out the field a little bit further out here now towards Eamon Cassidy. Cassidy close to the sideline. Cassidy is fouled. Actually, it was for an earlier foul on Chrissy McCaig. The referee was playing the advantage. And we go back to that frustration again, that it's going back for an earlier infringement.
Yeah, it's definitely frustrating. You can hear the groans there, but the Kevin Lynches had closed down Chrissy McCaig, they closed down him and Cassidy, and just like Cormac O'Doherty's free just before that, Alan, the drop short, it gives you an indication of the breeze. It's now Shea Cassidy, the flagpole is just behind him, is telling you how strong the breeze is. I'm looking up. Kevin Lynch is still staying with the same structure of their team up front. Conor Kelly did really well on that last score for Shea Miller, which was a brilliant finish, but Shea Cassidy with a score that Slaughtneil needed this stage because his Kevin Lynches are in the ascendancy in terms of territorial.
Cassidy makes no mistake in firing it between the posts for a point. 22 points, plays 16. And Shea Cassidy brings his own personal tally up to 8 points as the long clearance from Sean Kelly deflects off a Slaughtneil stick, and the stick was off Mark McGuigan. Very close to the sideline here, but picks it up as Paddy Kelly. Kelly inside, referee failed. Kelly was fouled. And a look of bemusement on the face of Eamon Cassidy at the linesman, and he holds his arms out asking why and what was that for. But it is a chance for Richie Mullen to bring us back to a 5-point game. The clock tells me with 8 minutes and 17 seconds of normal time remain. Richie Mullen looking to split these posts and just bring it back to within 5 points. Outside the 45, he sends it in. It's curling in to the between the posts, and over the bar it goes. And that is point number 7 for Richie. One of those though coming from the penalty spot, which will leave him disappointed. So it's a 5-point game again, and Oisin O'Doherty has to play it back in again, and that looks like it's Rory O'Meanine. You mentioned it earlier on. He is the outlet for Oisin O'Doherty.
He is, but the game's turned very fractured. It's just turned into a free contest now, whereas there was a spell at the end of the first half where it was really fluid. Slaughtneil were hurling well at that point, and there was a stage there where Kevin Lynch's were on top there, but it's just been broken down so many times, and there's been called forward for dissent here for a Slaughtneil free that's even easier now for Shea Cassidy, which is disappointing to the Lynches because, Cormac's free dropped short with that breeze, but no, it's just littered with frees at the moment, which is unfortunate because we had a really good game there for a while. It's just been broken up, and there's only one team that's shooting now, Slaughtneil. Even though the Lynches are getting frees, they need a fluid spell of play, and Shea Cassidy he's made it 23-17 from that, so 6-point game, and you're just thinking back to that penalty. What if that penalty had went in on? It was such an important moment, and again, Sean Kelly, he's going long, it's landing right on top of Stevie O'Neill and Shane McGuigan, and Stevie's flicked it on, but it's wide. So it's route one from the Lynches, and why not whenever you have a man with a puck out as long as that? So they're going to have to stop Oisin O'Doherty on this puck out, and he's went wide over the top to Rory O'Meanine, and what a brilliant puck out, what a great run from Rory, and he's on the front foot.
Yeah, O'Meanine close to the far sideline, sends it in, but I don't think he's happy with it. It goes to the wrong side and wide, but Rory O'Meanine is an outlet for Oisin O'Doherty on almost every occasion. And that was a super puck out from O'Doherty, right into the path of O'Meanine to run on to, but he was very close to the sideline. Long puck out again from Kelly, ball broken down, but the man to pick it up there is Conor McAllister, back towards Oisin O'Doherty, and the shouts come out, press, but he gets it away over to the far side very, very quickly. Little dinky ball in now to the centre to Finn McIndowney. He's got plenty of green sward in front of him, and he carries it almost to the 65. Then he lets it long, looking for Brendan Rodgers. Rodgers, was he pushed in the back? No, says the referee. Doesn't matter because that wonderful tackle comes in there. It's close to the sideline. Can he keep it in play? No, he can't, and the referee's whistle sounds, and the referee's coming over, and he's given a free to Lynch's for a foul on Owen McKeever. I did feel the ball was already over the sideline before the challenge came in.
Ball was definitely out, and it was definitely a foul by Micheál McGrath, but the ball crossed the line first. Richie's coming out to hit it. Yeah, Richie's coming to hit it here. It's a long way from the territory where Corey Riley landed the sideline. He doesn't have a wild lot of short options here. He's going to, no, it's actually a free. He's free here. So there you go. Thought he was calling it back. So he's going to land it in here. And there's a space right in front of the goals that he's heading for.
Yeah, we know what happened yesterday on the screen as this one drops in, and it's going to drop over the bar, is it? Yeah. Over the bar it goes. Check. All the way over the bar. And it's back to a 5-point game, but that's as close as they've gotten. The short puck out this time from Oisin O'Doherty finds Conor McAllister out to the side here now to John Cassidy. Cassidy up along the line, looking for Eamon Cassidy. Oh, well taken there from Eamon Cassidy. Turns, but he wasn't going for a point because he gives it into Shea Cassidy. Gathers it into the hand. Cassidy shortens the grip of the hurl, sends it in and sends it over the bar. So simple from Slaughtneil. From one end of the field, the short puck out, and up they went, and it never touched the ground, into the hands and over the bar from Shea Cassidy. And I think that brings up his double figures.
Yeah, he's hurling really, really well, and it's a spell for Slaughtneil now. And you would imagine the next score would do the job for him. Chrissy McKaig's been stood up by John Mullen. He pucks across his shoulder. It's a great score, a 7-point game. Applause from the Slaughtneil fans. You would imagine that's the job done now. We're looking at our watch with 4 minutes to go, and they would appear to have weathered that storm. But the Lynch is coming again with Conor Kelly, but he's giving it away, and that man's Cormac O'Doherty. It's now Ewan Boylan, and he's been boxed down again by Conor Kelly. Who can get their hands on the ball? Kevin Lynch has needed. It's a free in to Slaughtneil. So again, the game being broken up and a chance to open up a 8-point lead here.
Yeah, and Shea Cassidy is the man coming out to take it. 10 points to his name, 2 from play, 8 frees, and you would feel this will be number 11. Right in front of the post, between the 45 and 65, but when he strikes it, he'll be pretty close to the 45-metre line. Cassidy stands over this one, bends down. up onto the hurl and drives it in and turns away because he knows where it's going. And it is going between the posts from Shea Cassidy. And Oisin O'Doherty hit 11 points against Namaya the opening day. Shea Cassidy has hit 11 points this afternoon. No goals this afternoon for either side. That will be 2 games in a row now that Slaughtneil have failed to raise the green flag. They hit 34 points against Namaya, 26 points already today. Will it be, I'm not going to say a concern, but they haven't hit the net in 2 games, but I suppose they're making up for it with their point tallies.
I suppose the inside line have been quite efficient. Ben Rogers, I suppose, is the man who they've always looked for goals because of that pace, and he did get on lots of ball. There was maybe a chance in the first half at that point. He maybe could have took it on in, but maybe the message, Alan, is just keep the scores ticking over. The ball has landed in. It's Richie Mullen in possession. It's Niall Ferris, and that's over the bar. Is it? It is from Niall Ferris. Probably a consolation score at this stage. What they wouldn't have done for that purple patch earlier, what they wouldn't have done for the penalty that hit the net. So lots of questions for Kevin Lynch's, but Slaughtneil have weathered the storm and they've got those few scores from Shea Cassidy, and Cormac O'Doherty's just touched the ball down to himself. In comes Brenton Rogers. I don't know how he got that ball. He has it. It's a free to Slaughtneil. It's just been, it's sort of been like a free contest probably here for the last 10 minutes, and that's Brenton Rogers on his own 65 winning the ball. I don't know how he got his hands on it, but it's now in the hands of Cormac O'Doherty on his own 65, and I'd imagine he'll just drill this into the mixer somewhere.
Yeah, just on his own 65-metre line. Cormac O'Doherty lets a shout out of him, looking for a little bit of movement, and it is going to go into the corner. He's not going for the point, and under this one, and the run here from Shea Cassidy. Cassidy gathers possession. He's got Brendan Rogers beside him, and instead he plays it into the centre to Eamon Cassidy. I don't think that's who he was aiming for though, and Eamon Cassidy put the stick up. Micheál McGraw's making a run through the centre, and if anything, Eamon Cassidy took it away from him, and it's come out now is John Mullen, drove forward here now from the Lynches, looking for Richie. Richie's under this one, but so too is McAllister, I think it is, that's in there, and the chance here turns. It wasn't Richie Mullen, it was Niall McGonigal, and the referee's whistle had sounded as Niall McGonigal. And we've seen the advantage rule played earlier on, but I suppose the difference is the whistle had gone on this occasion as McGonigal fired it to the back of the net.
Yeah, that's what it's inconsistency of it leads to frustration for players whenever you don't know how you stand. Like yesterday, there was a lot of Sean Kelly's going up to hit this. I would imagine he's going for a pure power here. But yesterday up on the screen, there was a lot of play let go. And then all of a sudden the push in the back was blown. So players will always find that difficult to deal with, because in the build up to a game you'll assess a ref and work out how things go, how much you get away with. But Sean Kelly's 2 minutes to stoppage time, Alan. Sean Kelly, there's only one thing in his mind now.
And he comes forward, but it goes over the bar from Sean Kelly. Drove over instead of under, just like Richie Mullen's penalty earlier on. It is a 6-point game. Have to give credit though to Lynch's. They made a game of it in the second half. There is a strong wind. We knew the wind, but in fairness, the Lynch's are getting more stuck in. They're coming forward again. Here's a chance now for Conor Kelly coming through the centre. Inside, this is surely a goal chance now for Stevie O'Neill. Goal! Stevie O'Neill back of the net. And it's a 3-point game. 123 to 26 points. 2 additional minutes. We're into that. But they've made a game of it.
They've made a game of it, and you know what? If they win this puck out, who knows where this game's going, Alan? We did think that it was all done and dusted with a 7-point lead. Brilliant finish from Stevie O'Neill. It was all about CK, Conor Kelly coming through at pace. Who's got hands on the ball? I would say that's a free out for Kevin Lynch. There was a push in the back for sure. And it's now a free in. Big call there. I thought Darren Mullen was pushed in the back there, but a free for Slaughtneil and probably a chance to just tie up the game. But a big enough call at a very important spell of the game.
Yeah, this will be the insurance score. From a free, you would expect Shea Cassidy to fire between the posts. He has 11 points to his name already. This to make it a 4-point game, but Slaughtneil were pushed to the pin of their collar by Lynch's in the second half. 10 points separated them at half time, but the wind had a big effect on the game. But Lynch's were just a little bit more up for it in the second. They definitely put Slaughtneil, who were comfortable looking in the first half, as here comes Shea Cassidy, and Cassidy fires up between the posts and over the bar for his 12th of the day, and brings up 27 as the ball is up along the stand side. Told to drive it on here from Oren McElhinney. McElhinney drives it in, but it looks like it's going to drop wide. It is, despite the best efforts of the Lynch's man to keep it in play. It's out and wide of the target, so it's going to be a puck out here for Oisin O'Doherty. And you would feel that Oisin will not be in as big a panic to hit this one out as he has been all afternoon. As the whistle goes from the puck it out, and he does that. Looking to the far side for Brendan Rogers. Rogers couldn't take it first time, but he can take it second time. Plays it inside to Micheál McGrath. McGrath up along the wing because he spotted the man over there, Ewan Boylan. Nobody near him. Ewan Boylan couldn't take it first time, though. He's put under severe pressure by John Mullen. And the full-time whistle goes. It's all over. It's victory for Slaughtneil. 27 points to a goal and 23. But there was 10 points between them at the half-time. 17 played 7. But credit to the Lynches. They made a game of it in the second half. And I know the wind had a huge effect, Mal, but the Lynch's overall performance in the second half, they were closing them down a little bit more. There was more intensity to their game, and you could see as it grew on, they believed in themselves that they could get into this game.
Yeah, they got 4 points in a row. Like Shea Miller, that touch he took and put it over the bar. Like Corey Reddy with the sideline, he hit over a Munster score as well, and their momentum was all with them. And then I just feel ended up the game became fractured, littered with frees, and it just played into Slaughtneil's hands. And then they went on, I think, 7 points up, and I thought it was done and dusted. We had a missed penalty in the middle of it all, which is a factor. Also, they'll have regrets about. They'll just wonder if they had been able to hang in that wee bit more in the first half. But again, Conor Kelly drove forward. Excellent for the goal from Stevie O'Neill has brought them back into it, but they'll take heart from it, but they'll take an awful lot of regrets out from it as well into this week, because they just didn't perform in that first half against the Breeze, and maybe that the credit goes to Slaughtneil because they were so direct in everything that they did. So again, this group was probably nearly done and dusted at this stage, just the way results have fell with Kevin Lynch's beating Lavey in that first round. From Slaughtneil's point of view, Alan, they got caught out a couple of times in possession in their defence and were punished for it. They did miss a few chances themselves, and they didn't create that one-on-one goal chance that maybe they weren't trying to do. Maybe their message was keep the score ticking, like 27 points is a fair decent tally that'll win you a lot of games. So that's maybe where they're going to come from. But as I spoke to Patrick Duggan during the week for a Gaelic Life interview, it was all about topping the group. That was the message. We're going to top the group. So now they've a chance to do that. And he did say to me that if you don't meet what Kevin Lynch's bring, it'll be a battle. That was his words to that effect, and that's what it proved. And it probably all boils down to the penalty miss and not being able to build on the 4 points in a row for Kevin Lynch's. And then obviously Slaughtneil had probably a lot of the hard work done in that first half, because it was going to leave it a fairly steep hill in that second half. But they came into the game as favourites on, and they built up that lead, and they're away home this evening with 4 points on the table. And as I say, the dual lads from both clubs, they'll be looking at the next week to see can they book a quarter final spot. Slaughtneil up against Blahy, and Dungiven are playing Glen. So Lavey have just taken the field, so Slaughtneil have the job done now.
Yep, job done from Slaughtneil. But Kevin Lynch's, you would feel, will be in second spot in the group. Their last game will be against Namaya in 2 weeks' time. Slaughtneil will wrap their campaign up against Lavey, who Mal said has just taken the field for the second of games, but there's a mass exit. They're not waiting for the second game. Slaughtneil and Kevin Lynch's supporters all heading to the exit gate. So that's game one of a doubleheader. It's finishing victory for Slaughtneil. 27 points to Kevin Lynch's 1 goal and 24 points between them at the end. It was an exciting second half. Coming up, it'll be Lavey against Namaya, throwing in just under 10 minutes' time, or a little bit after, when it gives them a chance here to get warmed up. We'll be back in about 5 minutes or so with the second of our doubleheader here in the Leading Timber Frames Hurling Championship. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back very, very shortly. Let's do it.